What's going on, guys? It's X. So we got a bunch of news that actually dropped this weekend. Ironically, somewhere in the past 12 hours. So this is going to be a big news roundup for two big major events that transpired this weekend, and we're going to go through them. So first off, the Bushiroad World Championships for the English side has just concluded, and we got a bunch of news from not only Vanguard but definitely Weiss Schwartz. We're going to talk about it. So first off, we're going to talk about the Vanguard news in general, which is Dragon Tree Invasion. It's Booster Pack 9. Some more information, which is the reprints that were announced in Japan also going to come to English, as well as a surprise, which is that an additional 5 cards are going to be printed as well. Tochigarasi, Megan, Mobile Mind, Painkiller Angel, and Ilinia all going to get reprinted as well. Assumingly in the English version, we don't know if, I think it's, even though it's kind of like release week for JP, so like this is pretty much like the next 2 weeks are pretty much going to be when it's going to be released. So we don't know if it's also going to be in Japan as well, which that's also going to be interesting. We'll probably know on Tuesday. But for the most part, these 3 right here are key cards in the nations themselves that everybody wants. This is a good generic card, and this is a very interesting card for the new brew stack that's going to come out. So this is, all of these are really good combined with the old reprints that were announced. That's really great. So Vanguard, that's pretty much all Vanguard's really news. Everything else was just kind of reiteration stuff from past events. I know I didn't do a recap video for the event this time, but and what can you do? So this is loading. Going to Weiss, they announced for English the following sets. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. That time I got Reincarnated Strime Season 2. That's gonna come out too. Then Azure Lane is also going to come to Weiss Schwartz. So that's also pretty big for all you weaves. Next, Hall Live is Production Volume 2 is going to come out as well. That's also going to come out in English. That's a bunch of money. And Spy Family is going to have an English edition version as well. So that's also good. Like, I don't think anything about this is totally out the way. These have been announced in Japan. These are also now coming in English. So that means that all these are kind of like bangers, to be honest. That's very cool. And then a big announcement that appeared at the event, and that is that Guilty Gear Strive will get a Weiss Schwartz set. This will be the first Arc System Works fighting game set. Now this is not the only technically fighting game set. If you want to kind of like a Fate or Tsukihime and somewhat, you want to align it with Only Cold and Melty Blood, but outside of that, a direct series of a fighting game is getting a Weiss Schwartz set. And it was announced as an English edition original. That is insane. That is insane. That's like that's probably the biggest news that came out of this whole weekend, to be honest. Like, Guilty Gear Strive is one of the biggest fighting games. It was the biggest game at last year's EVO. It's probably going to be the biggest game at this year's EVO as well, if not Street Fighter 6. No, I think. Yeah, no, it's not going to be this game or Street Fighter 6 is going to be the biggest game. It's probably going to be the second biggest game. So that is that's a big title right there for a lot of just general people in the FGC and whatnot. So that's going crazy. So that is a really big pickup for Weiss as a game itself. And, there's a lot of other information that really comes out for all the games that came out. I know, there's more information on Vanguard Zero. I'll talk about Vanguard Zero sometime next month. I think I really need to kind of like discuss my thoughts on that as we head into a uncertain point. So that's kind of what I want to talk about there. So I'll link down the actual conference that came out and what's going to happen with that. So that is, that's pretty much all the Weiss things right now. Probably Tuesday I'm going to have, we're probably going to go over the actual event of Worlds for BCS and some more stuff there on stream. and kind of go there. So if you want to come out, tune in to twitch.tv/RF_Zex, and I'll see you there to talk about Vanguard Worlds. Now, for the second big event that happened, Build Divide, you know, the game I won't stop talking about, even though everyone else has already done, had its third fan meetup, which, if you don't know what that is, it's from what I'm assuming this is going to be the plan going forward, it's pretty much going to be a combination of a big super tournament with a bunch of players at, you know, a big tournament combined with being a product reveal. So that's pretty much what the assumption is going to be of what it is. So, you know, there's a 128 man tournament. I'm assuming that's just, you know, the cap that was there. Makes sense. So it's 120 tournament. They have the finals on YouTube. They also have like the actual information all the stuff came from. So I'm also going to link that down as well to, you know, make sure you have the information to go and look for yourselves and translate, because, you know, I'm gonna be honest, there's not a lot of places that are gonna translate this stuff for you, you know. So on that note, we're gonna talk about it. So Build Divide, which, you know, there's two sides here, but the only real important one for people, you know, who aren't in Japan is his first stop, and this is release schedule. So Build Divide is planned to go up to 2024 with BT13. So the plan is BTA is going to happen next month. Then BT9, along with SAO, the new collab for regular Build Divide, is also going to release. And also starter decks 7 and 8. So there's going to be 2 starter decks. So I think the idea is probably going to do like new starter decks every 3 sets, which I think is cool. So 7 and 8 are going to come out with BT9 and SAO that same month. And then BT10 will be in June. August will have BT11. October will have Star Decks 9 and 10, well, BT12. And then in January 2024, BT13 will drop. I do not know what this really means, and I'm assuming because SAO is here, this is going to be another big collab booster in the middle between BT10 and 11. So we don't know what it is just yet, but we're probably going to know as we get closer. So that's the thing, and I don't really know what this really means. I wish I had a translation, so if anyone has a translation of what this says, I would really appreciate it. My kanji is, my katakana and kanji is completely terrible, so I'm struggling here. So that's pretty much it. So that's the plan, and then go to the updated stuff. BT09 has gotten its first preview images. I think I'm in a right place to kind of censor Rebecca a bit, but yeah. So we've got kind of like information. There's also like a little teaser, like the start decks as well. So you know, we've got Rebecca here. We've got the boss from set 8, bosses from set 8 that are going to officially get more support, and then we've got some other cards too. So this is like the preview images of cards that are going to be in the next set. So, and we have a confirmed release date of April 7th, 2023. So if you're a Build Divide fan, imports, you should probably go get it. As for the other, that's pretty much it for regular Build Divide outside of like the events that they had. But for Bright, Build Divide Bright, the upcoming like kind of like Schwartz variation, we have the release dates for 3 of the 4 like titles, and then kind of an interesting thing between before one, but we'll see what there. So first off, we will go to Nachu. Oh, I didn't even talk about SAO. I'm sorry. SAO has the release date of April 28th. By the way, that's it. So Build Divide Bright, Licorice Recoil will release February 24th, 2023. That is its own separate thing. Put it in regular Build Divide. You can use its own game, etc., etc. So that's the first set that's gonna come out. Second set, Gurren Lagann, will be on March 31st. So that's in the second set, and then our final set, Bochi the Rock, will be on May 26th. However, as you can see by this, currently we do not have a date for Nier Automata yet. I say this is probably the estimate range. Then they'll release more titles soon. Nier Automata is supposed to be somewhere in August. It makes sense. Ironically, and probably will be released before the anime returns, which oof. But you know, that's a lot of news. That's a lot of news, and like a lot of interesting things that are gonna come up this year for all these games, right? So again, pretty much thing. We have the dates for the build fights as they come out, including preview entries for set 9 and 10. You know, Guilty Gear Strive is still the biggest thing here, being the one of the biggest fighting games out right now until Street Fighter 6 comes out. But I mean, that's just crazy by itself. So let me know what you think about the news. Want to make a short video to try to get this out so that everybody knows about it. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like more TCG content, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.